You're listening to the Empty Nest Empires podcast, episode number 15. Hey, what's your sign? Come on, that's so 1990. The question you need to be asking today is, what's your word? Do you choose a theme word for your year? We're going to dive into this today because it's something you might consider. It's something you might just say, that's stupid. But I want you to consider every angle of this. And as we finish up these 3 weeks of 3 episodes of reviewing your year and making a plan and being intentional, I want you to consider that maybe it will help you this year to really focus on your intention and your goals. And those might be 2 words, but it might really help you if you actually choose a theme word. So let's talk about that coming right up. Okay, your nest is empty, or it will be within a few years. So now what? Whether you know it or not, we are building empires. Empires of faith, family, fun, fitness, and of course, finance. And those empires are the legacy we leave for our loved ones. I'm Tammy Romani, an empty nester mom, grandma, and entrepreneur with a vision for ever greater things in the years ahead. It's never too late, and there is no limit to what we can do. I'm so happy you're here. Now let's get to building. Don't you just love this time of year? So much planning going on, so much pressure going on. I want to tell you about the time I first heard the concept of choosing a word for the year. It was 2014, and it was mid-January, actually early January. I was actually in Atlanta at a church service. I was about to send my daughter off on a year-long missions trip called the World Race. And so we were there for the launch, and we happened to be there over a weekend and went to church one Sunday. And the sermon that day was about setting intention for the year by choosing a word. I had never heard of that concept before. But of course, being the researcher I am, I decided to dive in and see what that felt like and what would happen if I did such a thing. So I'm kind of going to riff a little bit today about that process that I went through, and I want you to keep in mind that maybe this is a good idea for you, or maybe you just want to let it lie. But, hey, it's your life, it's your option. I kind of want you to be like I was when I first heard of this possibility. And I was kind of excited about it because I am not one for New Year's resolutions. I don't like them. I've never done them. They really don't work. But I think having a theme word that you can just always fall back on and have it kind of hovering there in the distance, like, is this putting me in the right trajectory that I feel like I need to go for myself in this year? Back in 2014, I wrote a blog post in March. Okay, let's just talk about how I'm a bit of a late bloomer, but it really took me weeks to think about what my word for 2014 should be. And I kind of was learning that it's a thing now instead of New Year's resolutions, and that people are encouraged by various blog posts and websites where this whole idea is kind of churning. In fact, there's a website called oneword365.com, and the website says, forget New Year's resolutions, scrap that long list of goals you won't remember 3 weeks from now anyway, and choose just one word. One word that sums up who you want to be or how you want to live. One word that you can focus on every day all year long. It will take intentionality and commitment, but if you let it, your one word will shape not only your year, but also you. It will become the compass that directs your decisions and guides your steps. Discover the big impact one word can make. One word, 365 days, a changed life. Okay, that's a pretty tall order, but hey, that first year, it was March, I signed up, and I decided if I'm going to choose a word, I better get on with it. So, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I really don't think you can pull a word out of a hat and have it work for you. And let me tell you why. When I first was challenged to come up with a word, I literally filled 3 pages. I wrote a list of words I hoped would speak into my life. I wanted to claim words like abundance and prosperity and plenty and bountiful and clarity and increase and thriving. And as many times as I wrote those words, I just could not make them stick for me. Isn't that the craziest thing? I really believe a word has to speak to you and come to you. And so what I found was a constant desire to go deeper in my spiritual walk that year, deeper into relationships, deeper into my profession, and just deeper into life. And so there's that word. It really kind of struck fear in my heart, but deeper. That was my word the first time I did this. And then I didn't do it in 2015. And 2016, I revisited this again. And again, I found myself in the same place. I really wanted, consistency. I wanted, again, filled 3 pages in a journal with words I was hoping would inspire me to move beyond my sluggish vision for myself. And they were all great words, and any one of them would have been appropriate. Perfect, even. Words like momentum, forward, empower, growth, resolve, action, intentional, consistent, savor, ignite, commit, focus, soar, diligence, persistence. Do you kind of sense a theme here? I was really needing a lot of balance and discipline in my life. And so I asked God to kind of show me a word, and instead of seeing this word, the word that started jumping out to me was intentional. It was on my list. It wasn't my favorite. I really would have, preferred something like empower or, discipline or balance or something that really spoke to me. But instead of just seeing it here and there pop up on social media, I began hearing it. And I'm not kidding, it was everywhere. So much so that I actually chuckled at God's sense of humor each time I heard the word. A couple of weeks before I actually finally decided this was my word, I attended a business training class where the speaker emphasized the need to be intentional in our business. And I have to say that emphasized is not even a strong enough word. She must have said it 20 times. The very next day, my pastor preached about beginning again in the new year, and he spoke about not settling for being comfortable. And what did he talk about? The requirement that we be intentional in how we use our time and resources. Okay, I got it. My foray into being intentional needed to happen in that year, in 2016. And the reason I had on my list all of those words like momentum, forward, growth, is because I didn't choose a word for 2015, and I really felt like I was floundering. There's just something that happens in your brain that, thinking of the word intention, it sets your intention when you choose a word. And I actually love that. Now, I won't go into 2017, 2018. Last year, 2019, I believe the word that came to me was go. What a silly little word, go. What does that even mean? It could be interpreted so many ways. But my word was go, and what that meant to me was, okay, you've got all the resources you need. You've bought all the courses you need. It's go time. Would you get off your tuchus and just get moving already? So go was my theme for last year, and it really kind of overshadowed every decision I made. I want to share with you a post that I made inside a couple of Facebook groups because I really was asking people what was their word for this year. And I love some of the responses. One woman said, "This is my steadfast year. Shift, breathe, fearless, gumption, faith, character, consistency, and rise up. Space. Next phase. Kick ass. Consistency. Abundance." Now, you'll see there's no common thread there. These are all different people. So I'm really just telling you about all of these words that other people wrote because it might spark something in you when you hear another word. I encourage you to search the hashtag OneWord365 and you'll see a lot of people. There's also a website, oneword365.com, where you can actually just look at other people's words and you can actually sign up, tell them your word, and then you can see other people's posts about that word and connect with them if you would like to form some kind of a support group for your word. There's just a lot of resources now about this. And this was interesting. One gal said, "The word I chose is abundance, but I'm noticing that I'm now being drawn more to the word connection." And hey, let yourself go with this. If you say, "My word is this," and then another word keeps presenting itself to you, change it. Change it so you won't be frustrated. Tranquility, intentional, simplify. I have 3 words, one woman said: grow stronger in my faith, practice patience, and abundance will come. I love that. Do you see how there's no rules here? This is yours. This is your intention. Grow and thrive. Someone chose 2 words. Another word, fearless. Another one, success. Organized. Create. Gratitude. I'm doing 2, gather and flourish. And a lot of people said, "I'm still thinking on 2020. I'm still thinking." And hey, it's so early. Remember that first year I did this? I didn't choose my word till mid-March. And the years that I did not choose a word, I really did find myself floundering. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that you'll search social media for one word or OneWord365 hashtag and get some ideas for yourself. Start to just write it. The way that I did it and have found to be the best for me is I just write every word. I brain dump every word that comes to my mind. I write it down on a page or in my journal. Sometimes it's 3 pages of words. And then I wait a couple of days and I do it again. And I just dump words. And then I might even do it a 3rd time. But I then go through with a highlighter and I highlight the words that keep being repeated. And usually it's one of those words. Now, this year was really unique for me. I usually go through this process, but I went to an event a couple of months ago. I believe it was in October of 2019. And there was someone there who has a mission work in Africa where they build schools. And it's called Village Impact. Many of you know him. It's Stu McLaren. And as he spoke, and if we gave a donation, he gave us a little bracelet handmade by some of those children in the schools, and it just simply said the word impact on it. And I'll tell you what, that spoke to me so profoundly and so deeply that right then and there, I knew my word for 2020 is impact. So not only is it a different process for me every year, It's wildly different words and purposes. And so I just wanted to share this with you today. I want you to take the pressure off yourself. Let a word come to you. Just brain dump yourself. It might not be the word that you want it to be, but I can pretty well say that it's going to be the word that you need for this year. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. In the next few weeks, we're going to continue with some more interviews, so I hope that you are subscribed to this broadcast. And if you are subscribed, would you also leave me a review? 5 stars would be great, but reviews are how other people can find this podcast. The more reviews I have, the more this podcast will be placed in front of other people who are searching. So if this has been helpful to you, would you very quickly do that for me? And I will love you forever. So thanks again for joining me. I will talk to you next time. This is Tammy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.